Okay, so today I'm bringing 3 case studies, which all I feel almost challenge the taboo and stigma around loneliness. First of all, I'm going to call him Mr. A. Mr. A was a entrenched rough sleeper, continued rough sleeping for quite a significant period of time in his life. He'd gone through a lot of trauma previous. Once he'd come onto Voice's caseload, we were able to break down several barriers to actually get him housed. But unfortunately, once he was housed, there was a recurring problem where Mr. A wouldn't stay in the property. This happened not only in one property but four various properties, and it's something that we do hear of quite often. My question to him was, sort of what is it that's making you not want to stay, and what can we do? How can we help? How can we get around it? And his response was that he didn't know, that he couldn't put his finger on it, but he didn't like being in the house on his own. He would much rather give up the warmth of a bed and, a nice hot bath and stay on the streets just because he felt lonely. Now, I've got the other 2 gentlemen, Mr. B and Mr. C. They have had similar issues to Mr. A, but there's been things that have actually broke them down. So Mr. B, he also stated it in a roundabout way that he'd felt that being on his own was quite difficult, and once the door was closed, yes, he was safe, but there was no one there. He then was reunited with his dog in his property, and for him that changed his outlook. He had a purpose. He had something to get up for. He had something to go to bed for. So having the property wasn't just enough. It's needing what we'd all have maybe at home, a loved one, someone we care about, or something like that. But obviously for him it came in the shape of his dog. My 3rd gentleman, Mr. C, again, he'd had lots of provision, lots of things put in place, all by professionals, and nothing seemed to. He'd go along with it, but he wasn't committed. He wasn't committed for himself. He then actually met someone. They then, became close and intimate, developed a relationship together. And as soon as that relationship had almost fully formed, his outlook on life completely changed. He was doing things not just for himself, but because, again, he had a purpose, he had something to get up for. He had that connection on a day-to-day basis where someone was there and someone showed that they cared and, loved him. And I think when you look at the three different customers in the 3 cases, the first gentleman, Mr. A, he felt disconnected. He didn't feel that he had anyone to turn to. I mean, yes, he had professionals, but they're paid people. They're not necessarily all there because they want to be there. And I think that's ultimately the difference for our customers. Yes, we can provide all the practical things, but the love and support that you'd get from someone close, that's obviously something that's lacking. I think overall people need to be given a purpose and feel that they need to be loved to do well in life, and to give them that foot up, and maybe not even do well, but to survive.